Hey y'all, I just wanted to jump on here real quick and tell you the story behind this baby right here, but I also want to touch on my weekend just a little bit. So this past weekend, I went to the North America Honeybee Expo that was held in Louisville, Kentucky. Pretty much I had pre-ordered everything that I really wanted and or that had really good prices. One of the things, excuse me, one of the things that I wanted was another High 365 for Hilco, and I had been stalking their page for months, but they had pulled them. So when I got to the Honey Show, I saw they had second generation High 365. So I did pick up a couple of those. Well, I didn't pick them up. I pre-ordered them. They're supposed to be shipped sometime the end of February, 1st of March. So I was really excited about that. And then, there wasn't anything really that I wanted, anything else or needed until I saw this baby right here. So this is an observation hive, and all the ones I seen were prior to this one were like the ones that I already have. The little boxes that have I think 3 or 4 frames at the bottom and 1 frame at the top, and it's used really for taking to like schools to show the kids the bees or stuff like that. It's not really made to set up to have an actual colony of bees living in it. And then I saw ones that were the size of a door. And of course, I didn't want anything that big in my house either. So I found this one, and it is 9 frames, and I think that's perfect. It's just 1 frame short of a 10 frame deep. So I looked at it Thursday, and the price was excellent. So that wasn't the issue. The issue with me purchasing it was I couldn't figure out where I would put it at, or if I could get help assembling, not assembling because it's already put together, but I needed to do the, like drilling the hole in the side to run the hose out my window and all that good stuff, and getting the window situated where it would be shut and secured. So after I got through all of those dynamics in my head, I went back to the expo on Friday, and there was 2 things I wanted to do. I wanted to get this, and I also wanted to taste all the honey that was out there to be sampled. Y'all seen the video, know how that went. I'll never do that again. But anyway, I went back to this guy's table, and the vendor's name is South Fork Honey and Bee Supplies, and he's out of Windsor, Kentucky. So I went back, and I had talked to him Thursday, and so he asked me, he says, did you make up your mind? Or did your husband say it was okay? Actually, is what he said. And why he said that was because I was saying that I would have to talk with him about doing, if he had the tools to do what I needed to have done. He took it that I needed permission, I think. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm not going to ask permission for anything. But anyway, I digress from that. So let me just say that the expo was overwhelming. I mean, there was just so many people there and so many vendors and so much going on. So when I'm talking to him and I tell him, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get it, so he rings it up. I pull out my credit card, and he says he doesn't take credit cards. Okay, how about PayPal? How about Zelle? How about Square? He accepts none of those forms of payment. So I said, okay, let me go see if I can find a ATM machine. And I don't like using other people's ATMs if it's not my bank, because I don't believe in paying a fee to get my money out of the bank. But I really wanted this thing here. So I went to look for an ATM. I found one, and I put my card in, and it was a nondescript, no name, looked like it's just a generic ATM. So my heart is like, oh my God, I hope this doesn't go wrong. But it's in the convention center, so I'm thinking, okay, it should be safe. So I put my card in, and then it tells me that the amount of money that I need to pull out, they don't dispense that amount, and that I need to do it in multiple transactions. Well, I'm not doing that because I haven't gotten to the fee part yet, and I know before I hit dispense, you're going to tell me some exuberant fee. So I'm not even going to do that. So I took the card back out. Then I Googled my bank, and there was a location of the bank that I a branch of the bank that I bank with, 7 miles from the expo center. So now I have a new dilemma because I got to the expo about an hour and 15 minutes early because I wanted a prime parking spot. If anybody knows anything about that Kentucky Expo Center, you can walk miles, maybe, but the parking lot is huge and it goes on forever and forever and forever. So I wanted a good parking spot. So for me to move my car, to go to the bank, and then come back and potentially, well, no doubt about it, I was going to be way out in left field with parking. So that wasn't an option either. So I went back to tell him about the ATM machine, and I just told him, the stars didn't align this time. So I asked him where it was located, and he told me he was about, I think he said 3 miles south of Louisville. Well, not 3 miles, 3 hours. So I'm 8 hours. So that still put me about 5 hours away from him to get this. And so I was kind of disappointed, but it was okay. I said, okay, well, just wasn't meant to spend that money, I guess. So as I'm walking away, and I had gotten quite a distance from his booth, actually, I was about to turn into the next aisle, and I heard him saying, no, I heard this little voice. I didn't know it was him at first. He was saying, ma'am, ma'am. And so I turned around and it was him. And so he says, can you write me a check when you get home? When I tell y'all I was blown away, this man was going to let me bring this home on total trust. And so I told him, yeah, I would. And so he gave me this on Friday at the expo with the promise that I would send him a check. Now, that man did not know me from Adam, but he trusted me enough to give me this. And so I had met another guy there named Steve Horton, very nice beekeeper. So when I ran into him later, I told him about it. And he's like, why didn't you call me? Because he was ready to give me the money. I'm like, no, it's taken care of. And he was just really persistent. I'm like, no, it's taken care of. We got it all straightened out. But again, I had just met him literally the day before as well. But why am I saying all this? I'm saying it to say, besides beekeepers are a special group of people, for the more spiritual side, and I tell people this all the time, what God has for you is for you, and it's not for anybody else. Now, there's no way. I'm leaving a part out of this story. So, in my confusion, in my days, and being overwhelmed, I didn't realize until I got home that I could have written him a check from my bank right then and there. All I had to do was open my app, because I do it every month when I pay bills. I send checks to different, but that never dawned on me, and I'm going to blame that on the honey because I ate that honey first, and I'm telling y'all, I couldn't think straight. My vision was blurred for a couple of hours. It was horrible. I was told that I was pre-diabetic years ago. And so I think maybe they might be right. And I hope it hasn't advanced further than pre-diabetes. But I really, really have to watch my sugar now, because that taught me something. And actually, I didn't even know that my speech was affected until I was watching the video that I made before I posted it. At the very beginning, I was stuttering and stammering over my words, and I didn't catch it. But that was because I had already started tasting the honey and had made it maybe 3 or 4 states down, I think. I'm not even sure. But I forgot to hit the record button. So I had to start all over. So I had already ate all that honey. And at that time, I was tasting every jar from every state. But when I went back to start over to actually record, thank God, somewhere in my brain told me not to taste every single jar. That was a lot of honey, because some states had 4 or 5, and one even had 7 jars of honey to be sampled. I am sure I would have been in a medical coma had I ate all of that or tasted all of that honey. But anyway, I say all that to say I'm usually pretty observant. But it didn't dawn on me when he said he didn't take any of the PayPal, the credit card. And then I saw he had on suspenders. And I'm like, oh, I said, oh, I'm sorry, because I apologize. I thought he was Amish, and I says, oh, you're Amish, because I'm trying to figure out how come you don't take none of this stuff. But he said, no, he was actually Mennonite. So we talked for a little bit, and like I said, he blessed me with this. So I came home, drove little over 8 hours to get home. I should have been tired, but guess what? I was focused on this thing right here. And all the light color that you see, those are the frames, but that's the color the observation hive was when I got it. So I went to the store, got me some stain, came home and stained it and all that good stuff. And now it is actually hooked up. So I'll show you. Got it all hooked up, and the only thing now I'm waiting for the bees. So let me see, there's 9 frames in there. It holds 3 frames. And actually when I get my bees in the spring, some of those frames will be coming out. But it does hold 9 frames. This shuts up, and it also not glues. I'll tighten that screw up there to seal the bees in, and then I can shut this door whenever I want to if I'm not looking at the bees. But here is how we have it rigged up so that I can disconnect it here, shut this down whenever I need to take it outside to do something with it. And you see we got a board there that goes out the window and out the screen. So that's it. I just wanted to share my experience with you guys from the North American honeybee. Now I will say this thing was perfect. I only had one problem here where you can feed the bees. These holes weren't big enough. They only accommodated the jar with the lid off. So Hubs was able to go around there and try to open these up. But he really didn't have the tool to do it, so they really don't sit in there like they're supposed to. And I had contacted Sean at South Fork and let him know that, and so he emailed me back and said that he's going to send out another piece with the correct size holes in it for the jar. So once I get that, we'll take that piece off and replace it with the other piece. But other than that, guys, Nabja was my first time. It was a great experience. I'll definitely go back again.